Arcadian Vanguard presents The Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin today with NXT broadcast live last night on USA Network from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The closing segment featured a contract signing involving NXT champion Trick Williams, Ethan Page, Shawn Spears, and Javon Evans, the four participants in the Fatal 4-Way NXT title match at NXT Heatwave on Sunday. It concluded with Page and Spears being put through two tables.
Well, we knew this was going to break down, Book.
Yes, here we go. Here we go.
We've been talking about tensions rising all night. We've been talking about bad blood boiling.
Wait a minute.
Oh!
Young man.
And you can feel the temperature rising.
The show also featured a confrontation between NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Lola Vice, her challenger for Heatwave.
Tensions are rising as Lola Vice.
We may be in your world, Roxanne, but after I knock you out, you won't know what world you're in.
In other results, Jasmine Nix beat Carmen Petrovich, Wendy Chu beat Carly Bright by submission, Oro Mensah pinned Miles Bourne, Izzy Dame defeated Brynlee Reese, New Catch Republic beat Hank Walker and Tank Ledger, and Jada Parker defeated Meechin in the opener. In ratings news, Monday Night Raw brought in 1.878 million viewers to USA Network this week, according to WrestleNomics. That's slightly up from last week's audience of 1.814 million. In the 18 to 49-year-old demographic, the show drew a .62, also slightly up from last week's demo rating of .61. The Forbidden Door go-home edition of AEW Collision on Saturday night drew an audience of 422,000 to TNT, according to WrestleNomics. That's down slightly from the previous week's audience of 429,000. The 18 to 49-year-old demo for Collision was .12, down from the previous week's rating of .14. And in National Wrestling Alliance news, in a semifinal match of the 2024 Crockett Cup Tag Team Tournament that was streamed as part of yesterday's episode of NWA Power, Alex Taylor and Kerry Morton defeated Mike Knox and Trevor Murdoch. Power streamed on the CW app and featured matches taped on May 18th in Forney, Texas. Also on the show, Tom Latimer successfully defended the NWA National Heavyweight title against Zion. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the Wrestling News. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.